Yo, what up? We're back. We're going to be doing the breakdown for the Dana White Contender Series Week 5. We're just going to jump right into it. The first fight of the night's Billy Quarantillo taking on Kirk. And Quarantillo, he's a veteran. You know, he's already fought on Tough. He's been very active in recent years, or he hasn't been very active. I'm sorry. He's only fought once in the last 2 years, but it was a knockout. It was in February, so it was fairly recent. And he's going to be taking on another Hawaiian. You know, Hawaiians have been killing it on the show this year. And Kirk's going to be looking to continue the trend. Kirk is another guy that's a Sucker Punch Entertainment guy. Both of the other Hawaiians that got brought onto the show that got contracts. Who was that? I know one of them was Punahali. And one other guy, he got a contract as well. Can't remember his name right now, but he got a contract as well. They're both Sucker Punch Entertainment guys, just like Kirk. They're both Hawaiian. And for me, you know, Billy, he's a sloppy, he's a forward pressure striker. He has heavy hands, though. Definitely hits hard. He can drop opponents with his right hand. But he throws a lot of shots wide. He's sloppy. He's very open to being hit. And he's been knocked out a couple times. He's been knocked out by Michel Quinones with the nasty head kick, the guy that fought Sage Northcutt in the UFC. And he will try to crash in the clinch, go for takedowns, but his takedowns aren't great. If he can get on top, he is decent on top. He doesn't have the best top control, but he likes to take the back. In my opinion, though, Kirk is clearly a superior wrestler in the matchup, but Quarantillo is very aggressive off his back when he's taken down. He'll throw up triangles, arm bars, omoplatas, and this is where he's most dangerous, I think, in this fight. Along with his heavy hands, they give him a puncher's chance, but for Kirk, he's smoother on the feet, in my opinion. He has more of a karate stance. He moves in and out fairly well. And he has better defense, decent in and out movement. He will throw some straighter punches, nice head kicks. I feel like his striking is a little bit crisper than Billy's overall. And Kirk doesn't get tired, does get tired quickly, which is worrying. He'll slow his movement, he holds his hands low, becomes very low output, especially in the later rounds. And he is a strong grappler, though. He has nice timing on his doubles, his singles. And when he takes top position, he has good control, nice ground and pound. He will try to take the back. He has a lot of rear naked choke victories. And he's good off his back as well, just like Quarantillo. He has excellent leg lock sweeps, good guillotines, triangles, good front chokes. I've noticed Billy will stay in that front headlock position too long without doing anything as well. And that could be a position that Kirk and his team could potentially see that also. But I think Kirk is better standing and on the ground and should win this fight. I watched his last loss in Victory FC, and he lost a decision, but I thought he clearly won that fight. His other fight that he lost was a split decision as well. He has finished all 8 of his wins, 5 KO TKOs, 3 submissions. And, you know, he definitely has power on Quarantillo. He has the puncher's chance to catch his chin, but I don't think he's on Kirk's level. For Quarantillo, though, he's coming off 3 straight knockout wins. He has 5 KOs, 4 submissions, and my pick here is going to be Kirk via TKO on the ground. He can't gas himself out going for the finish, though, and just needs to grind out a victory. Just do that. Don't be dumb. But I think his wrestling is better, striking is better, and the pick's going to be Camilo Kirk via late first round finish here. And up next here, we have a fight with Jamal Hill taking on Alexander Popik. And this is an interesting fight. You know, I was actually, when I first started watching Jamal Hill fights, I was like, man, I mean, this guy doesn't look very good. He has his lead leg right there to be leg kicked, to be taken down off of. He kind of has a weird stance, man. He has his hands low. He has, like, his head cocked, and you know, I was thinking, this guy kind of fights real weird. It's like, it's awkward. But after watching, I kind of, you know, had a good conclusion on him. He's athletic. He's quick on his feet. He has a sideways stance, and he likes to slide in and out of range, but pressures forward fairly effectively. He has good kicks, nice leg and body kicks. He throws long punches, long jabs, long straight punches, and he's very quick. Nice front and round kicks to the body and the head also. And when he gets his range, he'll start to throw longer combinations. He isn't an offensive wrestler very much, but he will go for body locks, for trips in the clinch. Nice knees there in the clinch as well. And he'll look to chain wrestle against the cage. His takedowns aren't great, though. His takedown defense is also questionable, but he attacks well off his back. Very well for a 205er. He has a dexterous legs. He'll attack with triangles, arm bars, good sweeps. He's strong in top position. Omoplatas. He will also posture up with big shots. When he gets in top position, he passes well when he sweeps. And he'll sometimes get sloppy trying to advance position, and he can let opponents up through that. His cardio is crazy, though. I mean, he can get hit with big shots and recovers very quickly. He'll pressure forward. He can keep the same pace for all 5 rounds. It doesn't seem like he's a massive power puncher, but he's a volume guy. He throws a ton of volume. And he has 2 TKOs and 5 wins. He's really only fought one solid fighter in his career, and that was Daquan Townsend, who we just saw fight in the UFC against Doucha champion. And it was a 5-round fight where he won a decision. And the only thing I could critique about Hill is his ability to be hit, but he's fun to watch. He has no submissions in his career. He's undefeated. And, yeah, he's a good fighter. Alexander Popik, he's a German fighter. He's fighting out of MMA Masters. His record is padded, in my opinion. His first 7 wins were against fighters with all losing records. And since taking that step up in competition to fight decent guys, he's 2-2. And he's more traditional. He's a bit stiff. He's pretty technical, though. He'll throw some decent hooks. He'll throw 1-2s, 1-2 head kick combinations. He allows fighters to get inside of him too easily, though, because he's flat-footed. And he can be taken down. He will throw a lot of spins off the breaks in grappling situations, which I've seen him land those shots before, but they look a little bit sloppy, to be honest. When he gets taken down, he has decent get-ups, but I definitely think Hill could take him down. He really, to me, looks like he shoots a lot of takedowns himself. He will go for singles, doubles, but he doesn't have great takedowns. He gets most of his finishes from top position with ground and pound, though. Those finishes have been against low-level competition, mostly. And in my opinion, Hill is more well-rounded here. I believe his easiest path to victory is pressuring Popik, putting him on his back. I've seen quitting Popik before. He's tapped out when a rear naked choke was barely locked in. And he does have 5 knockouts. He was submitted in his 2 losses. I think Hill has better cardio. He fights at a faster pace, better athlete, more diversity in his striking, better wrestling. But just needs to tuck his chin, be careful in there, stay off his back. Also, I feel he could sweep or sub off his back. But for Hill, I would grapple and try to finish with ground and pound or submission. I could see a rear naked choke maybe in round 2 or round 3. So I'm going to go with Jamal Hill to get the finish there in the 2nd round. Next here we have a fight with Christian Lohsen taking on JJ Okonovic. And for JJ, he's fighting out of AKA, and he's fought the majority of his career in Bellator. He's won 6 consecutive fights, but it's been hard to find many fights on this dude. He's been fighting on post-limbs, untelevised portions of the card. But he looks to be a grappler mainly. He has strong jiu-jitsu. On the feet, he looks to have nice leg kicks, a nice jab. Throws a counter left hook pretty good. He's pretty hittable, though. He'll be taking on a guy in Christian Lohsen, who's been fighting in smaller shows against lower-level competition. Or not lower-level competition, but low-level opponents. I couldn't find much tape on Christian either, but he looks longer, maybe a little bit less technical of a striker, but he's 6'2". He uses his length very well in grappling situations, and both these guys, I've noticed, like to grapple in all their fights. And he earned a nasty submission, Christian did, via banana split in his last fight, similar to the submission that Aljo Sterling Zabit got. He likes to use his reach, strike a bit, close the distance, shoot doubles. He'll blast through on him, but he's also good at using them to circle to the back. And when he takes top position, he is active with submissions. He has good rear naked chokes. He'll scramble well. He will also attack with submissions off his back. Doesn't mind giving up top position to chase submissions, which I don't really like. And he does have one loss to Bruno Canetti, who I think is related to Guido Canetti, who's only 8-6, but that's a little bit deceiving because Canetti is 5-1 in his last 6 fights. And I'm having a little bit of trouble picking this fight. I'm actually going to pick Christian Lohsen via submission. Both guys aren't great strikers. I think eventually it's going to get into scrambles on the ground. And I think Lohsen's going to be able to get the back when the scrambles catch something. So my pick's going to be Lohsen via 2nd round submission here. But didn't get to see much tape on either guy, and not very confident here. And up next here we have a really good fight with Ramazan Kuramagomedov taking on Jordan Williams. And, Kuramagomedov, he's a beast, man. He's the cousin of Zabit Magomedsharipov. He's a great fighter, and he trains in New Jersey with Mark Henry. I'm not really sure why it says Jackson Wink there, but he has nice stand-up. He's mainly a kicker. He likes to move, play the outside game. Nice jab, really nasty leg kicks. He'll throw them heavy to the inside, to the outside. Very fluid kicking with both legs. Really nasty rear leg body kicks, both to the body and the head. Very nice front kicks. He'll throw them with both legs. And he'll throw side kicks to the body, to the head with the lead leg, hook kicks, spinning kicks. Really just dynamic with his kicks. He'll throw a jab head kick or a left hook head kick combination. Really nice 1-2s. His hands, although he doesn't throw them often, are very nice, man. Crisp, good shot selection. They come out very straight and fast. He also has nice hooks, good uppercuts, strong overhands. He doesn't throw a ton of punches, but when he does, they're accurate. He also change stances, slips and rips in the pocket effectively from both stances. I feel his striking, man, is pretty sick. The only downside I would say is he can pull his chin back sometimes. Pull back high in the air. He's a tall fighter. He's like, I believe, like 6'2", 6'3", even though it says he's only 6 foot there. And, he can have a little bit of that tall man defense. And now he's moving up to 185, so that could be exploited easier against taller guys. But his head movement is still good. He sees shots coming. He could roll with them. And he has effective pressure. He walks runners down most of the time. His cardio is strong. He can also wrestle, man. He has good double leg entries. He isn't the most active wrestler, but he will mix it up or exploit that if it's an evident advantage. He'll also push opponents to the cage, take them down from there. He'll take the back. He has 1 career rear naked choke, 2 career submissions, and he has a solid top game, but I haven't seen much of it really, or much of him off his back. He's 1 TKO win via body kick, but he's a smart cerebral fighter. He's low risk. He won't go for the knockout stupidly, and he'll win a decision if he can outstrike from the outside all night. Jordan Williams, he's a Dana White Contender Series alumni already. He won a fight via ground and pound in round 3, but it was changed to a no contest because Williams tested positive for weed, which is a little bit stupid. But Williams has won his last 4 fights via TKO. He's a veteran here. And he's smooth on the feet. He moves well. He has a pretty good straight right hand. He's fast. He has good power. He's definitely explosive. Good left hook. He likes to walk opponents down, get inside, let go of some punch combinations, then go for the takedown. Nice hooks in short range, but he struggles with kicks, struggles to get inside because he doesn't throw any kicks himself. He doesn't feint or fake much. Really just relies on his explosiveness, his punching power to get inside, close the distance. On the feet, I think he's severely outclassed. I mean, unless he can explode in early, catch Ramazan's chin, Ramazan's kicks, movement will dominate on the feet. I feel as if Williams, can't get takedowns. If he can't get takedowns, he won't win the fight. He has good takedowns. He likes to shoot doubles or push opponents to the cage after a blitz attack. Likes to mount once he gets top position. He does good damage there. When he fought Tim Karen, he definitely showed some improved top control. Was able to posture up from full guard, from half guard, rain down some big shots, big elbows. And he isn't the most dangerous with his top game, but he will threaten the neck from half guard. His ground and pound is solid. He has a rear naked choke submission, but that's it. And he has been TKO'd in his 2 losses. He has 7 career knockout wins. But I just don't see Williams getting inside on Ramazan, man. This dude is something special. I think his kicks, his movement will keep Williams on the outside. I think he'll win a decision, or if Williams gets desperate, I think he's going to finish him. I think Ramazan may even take Williams down if Williams starts to pressure too heavy. I don't see Williams being able to get takedowns, and if he does, I don't see him holding top position. I think Williams has a puncher's chance, but Ramazan, I see him winning easily, and I think he's going to win in impressive fashion. I think he's going to be able to show a skill set because he's not necessarily a one-punch knockout guy, so we're going to see a lot of what he brings to the table. And I'm going to say Ramazan wins via 3rd round TKO in this fight, and it's going to be my most confident pick of the 5-fight event. And up next here, we have another really interesting matchup. I actually really like the matchups on this card. Whoever, is matchmaking this card did a really great job on this card because I think there's going to be some awesome fights. But Terrence McKinney is a wrestler. He has a good story. He had an incident where he overdosed on drugs. He was arrested. The whole thing was caught on camera. Turned into a new story, about intervention. He changed his life around. Then he broke his leg very badly, kind of Anderson Silva style in his 4th MMA fight, but persevered through all that to win 3 fights in a row now. He's finished all 7 of his wins, and Sean Woodson, his opponent, is 5-0 with 2 finishes. He's huge, man. He's 6'2" for 145, 78-inch reach. And he is stepping up on short notice for this fight. For McKinney, his striking looks a bit questionable. He looks fast, athletic, but only uses striking and close the distance, get takedowns. He is a former college wrestler. He has decent straight punches, but he's very open to being hit. He's a bit stiff, heavy on his lead leg. Likes to throw a right hook into a single leg attempt, and I haven't seen anyone really defend a takedown for McKinney yet, but he hasn't fought the best competition. When McKinney gets a takedown, very strong on top. He could stay in opponent's guard to beat him up from there, but he's a great passer. Likes to progress to dominant positions, work his ground and pound, look for submissions. Nice back takes, good rear naked chokes. 4 career rear naked choke finishes. He has a heel hook and arm bar. He also has 7-second knockout win. McKinney has only been out of the first round 1 time in his career. 4 wins in less than 2 minutes. I have seen him fight in the later rounds in an amateur fight. And his cardio looked fine, but he was cruising. He was laying and praying the entire fight. Didn't really have a lot of resistance. I haven't seen him face much adversity in the cage. His one loss was a leg injury, so didn't really get to see much of that. And that was very quick in the first round. And McKinney does look pretty athletic, a good solid wrestler, grappler. But Woodson, he's 5-0. Hasn't fought the greatest competition either, along with defeating the same fighter twice in his last 3 fights. Woodson is super fun to watch. He'll walk about his style, but keeps fighters at the end of his reach well. He keeps the volume extremely high. He cuts the cage off well. Will switch stances, create new angles through that. Great jab one too. An excellent left hook. He used to start a lot of his combos. The left hook. Really nice rounded front kicks to the body. Super tricky head kicks. He'll mix punches up to the body, into the head. He's really relentless, man. He'll just pepper. He doesn't have that one-punch knockout power, but he has nice knees up the middle. He backed fighters up very effectively because he's long. He throws so much volume, and fighters have to respect it because he can hit them when they can't hit him, and all they can do is defend and go backwards. So when he gets fighters against the cage, as he likes to do, he'll unload with combos, body, head, knees, elbows. His cardio is crazy, man. He picks up the pace as the fight goes on. Seems if he allows fighters to get on his legs at times, but he's improving his wrestling. His takedown defense doesn't look bad. He is offensive with his wrestling as well, and he'll attack with guillotines, triangles, off of his back, arm bars if he does get taken down. This is going to be the best wrestler he's fought by a long shot, so it's an interesting matchup. I really love this fight, actually. I think Woodson is a beast. He has some flaws. He can get hit. He's heavy on his lead leg, but his cardio is unreal. He's relentless. He's huge for the division. He has skills everywhere. I am a little worried about the 1 week's notice because he's really big, but hopefully he doesn't miss or it's not a bad weight cut. I think McKinney is faster, but on the feet he's going to get dominated if he can't get it to the ground. I've seen McKinney put in submission danger on the ground as an amateur as well, but he has had smooth sailing as a pro. He's looked to have improved his submission defense. This fight's super close to me, man. It should be like a pick'em. Slight edge to McKinney maybe because of the wrestling in the full camp. But I'm actually going to pick Woodson here. I think his pace is going to be too much. I think he's going to start to pull away later on in the fight with the striking if his defensive grappling holds up. I think he's going to be able to either use his submissions off his back to stand up, sweep, or submit McKinney. And we haven't seen McKinney out of the first round but once. Woodson's pressure, his pace is something that a lot of people are going to struggle to deal with. And the guy that's only been out of the first round 1 time, if he can start to get his takedowns stuffed, you could see the gas tank deplete very quickly, in my opinion. And my pick's going to be Woodson via 3rd round guillotine submission. But to me, that fight is very close on paper. Very good fight there. And yeah, so my most confident pick of the night, though, is going to be Ramazan Kuramagomedov. And for the parlay of the week, I'm going to say Jamal Hill and Ramazan Kuramagomedov. And obviously, like I always say for these type of videos, those are the preliminary parlays because I don't have the odds. And the odds should be dropping probably tomorrow, I would assume. Maybe even late today, but I would assume that they would be dropping tomorrow. And I'm going to be getting out the UFC 240 video tomorrow also. We're going to get back on track this week, man. I kind of got pissed off a little bit about last week. I thought Domingo Pilarte won the fight. I thought the parlay of the week should have hit. But, man, you got to be ready to fight, bro. Like, I should have been better than that on the prediction, on the video. That's my fault because I should have taken into account the fact that it was his UFC debut. He was coming off a long layoff. And, man, I mean, it just seemed like in the first round, he wasn't ready. Like, the fight started, he wasn't ready to do anything at the start of the fight. Killars got off to that great start where he was taking him down. He was working him with his ground game, and it didn't look like Domingo was in much danger. He was clearly the better fighter in my opinion, and I thought he won the second round, thought he won the third round, but he made it debatable, and I didn't think he was going to make it debatable, but the way that he fought made it debatable. And while we're on the subject, let's just talk a little bit about that card from last night. And not the greatest performance by me, obviously, but like we just talked about, Domingo took the loss there. Then we had Mario Batista taking on Jinsu Sun, and man, I mean, Mario showed a lot. He had some fantastic determination, some will there, because Jinsu Sun was coming in. He was showing off a lot of skills, great takedown defense. He showing us some really good striking, some really good movement. So great win there for Mario Batista. And Jinsu Sun, man, that dude's fun to watch. But up next, Ray Borg, Gabriel Silva, and man, I mean, Ray Borg needed that win, man. He needed that win real bad. He got it. It was a really fun thing to see. The post fight was pretty cool. And, great job for Ray Borg. He saved his career there. And it's fun to watch him out-scramble these big guys, man. I mean, his cardio is relentless. He says he wants to go back to 125 now, so I guess we'll see that. And let's talk about a couple other fights. I thought the judging for this card was atrocious, man. I mean, I thought that, like I said, Domingo Pilarte won the fight. I thought Ocho Peterson, man, I thought that dude clearly won, bro. I mean, first round he takes him down, takes his back, locks in the rear naked choke, almost finishes the fight. The third round he's walking him down the whole fight. He hits Caceres with the bigger shots. I mean, I don't know about the bigger shots because Peterson's kind of a punching bag, but the more shots for sure. And the shots I think Caceres kind of showed the effect of more than Peterson showed the effect. But, they gave it to Alex Caceres. One judge gave it 30-27, which, ridiculous scorecard there in my opinion. But, yeah, man, I thought Ocho Peterson deserved the win. Rocky Pennington got the win. Shout out to Rocky Pennington. She came through as an underdog against Aldana. Andrei Arlovsky looked really good in his fight, really good. One of his best performances in years, so props to him. Alexander Hernandez Trinaldo, I don't know who really won that fight. Both guys didn't really do anything. Gave it to Hernandez, and he got the win there. But Dan Hooker, vicious knockout of James Vick, man, and man, that was a little bit tough to see if you're a James Vick fan, man. 2 knockouts in his last 3 losses. Brutal knockouts, too, where he's out cold. And, yeah, I don't know if it's the weight cut. I don't know if his chin is just completely deteriorated. But tough to see, and it's hard to imagine what he's going to do. I don't know how he's going to come back from that. That was a pretty devastating loss there. That could be a punctuation mark to let him go up to 170 potentially. Maybe that could be the jumpstart of his career again. But, man, bad place for James Vick now. And Dan Hooker, he puts himself right back in the mix there with that knockout win. Probably going to be getting a top 10 guy. I heard people talking about him fighting Ally Quinta. So, I would like to see that fight. Up next, Greg Hardy, Juan Adams. And, man, Juan Adams, man, I don't know. It's like he got scared in there, to be honest with you. He went in for the single leg, and it was very similar to Bader versus Anthony Johnson, where he just didn't want to let go of the leg and just allowed himself to get beat up and knocked out, finished on the ground. And embarrassing performance. You could tell that he was really emotional after the fight, after the loss, and yeah, that's going to be a tough one to bounce back from Juan Adams. But Greg Hardy continues his assault, man. If you love him or like him, or love him or hate him, whatever you want to do, he's got 2 back-to-back really quick finishes in the UFC, and all his wins, he's finished them really quick. So we'll see who they give him next. I don't know if they're going to be giving him a top 15 matchup or what. I heard some people throw Dom Cruz was throwing out him versus Walt Harris. I was thinking him versus Jairzinho Rosenstruck. That would be a good fight potentially. But, yeah, and then Walt Harris, who we just talked about, against Alexei Oleinik. Man, I mean, finished that dude in 12 seconds. It was almost like the heavyweight version of Masvidal Askren, you know, a little bit slower because they're bigger guys, but he landed the flying knee, finished him off with the punches on the ground, and, man, 12-second finish there for Walt Harris. He looks like he's putting it all together, man. Back-to-back wins there, 3 wins in his last 4 fights by brutal knockout, and, yeah, man, I mean, he should probably be getting a top 10 fighter next. So shout out to Walt Harris. I mean, really a lot of progression, and he's a fun guy in interviews. He's funny. He seems pretty cool. So likable dude. Fun to see him get the win there. And for Alexei, I heard Walt was saying this potentially was his last fight of his career. So excellent career for Oleinik. I mean, anyone that can get in there over 70 times, get 50 plus submissions. I mean, that's insane. So He definitely has a career he could be very proud of. And then up next, the main event, Leon Edwards versus RDA. And man, I mean, Leon Edwards looked fucking incredible in this fight. Just excellent, dude. He beat RDA, baby, you know, the most, you know, convincingly, consequentially, in all facets of the game that I've ever seen anybody beat RDA, man. I mean, I'm trying to think of this new form of RDA. I mean, someone could say Jeremy Stevens fucked him up, but I mean, this new form of RDA, like, from when he went on his run, like, where he beat Cowboy, Benson, to now, right? And, you know, he had some losses. He lost to Tony Ferguson. That was a competitive fight, though. He won 2 rounds in that fight. When he fought Colby Covington, you know, he was winning the striking. He took Colby down. He had his moments there. Even versus Kamaru Usman, he was obviously the better striker. Usman took him down, smothered him, won all 5 rounds. But I even thought he had more success versus Usman than he did versus Leon Edwards, man. I mean, Leon Edwards looked really good. I mean, you could say in the 5th round he's cruising a little bit. Maybe RDA took the round. I don't know. I mean, but I thought that Leon won every round, man. I thought that his grappling was incredible. He was taking RDA down, holding him on the mat, which is extremely hard to do. His elbows off the brakes were just great timing. I mean, tremendous, man. I mean, he looked fucking really good, really good. I'm really excited to see Leon Edwards in some future fights, man, because that was a performance. That was a statement type performance, even though it wasn't a finish, even though you could say it was a point fighting. Try and beat that then. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. That was a really good performance there from Leon Edwards. And looked fucking excellent in that fight. So, not taking anything away from RDA either. I mean, that dude's a warrior. He came for 5 rounds. Clearly the smaller guy. Never gave up. He was coming forward for the whole fight. And Leon just outclassed him, man. Leon outclassed him. Looked incredible there. And, man, I shouldn't have jumped off the Leon train so fast. I should have played him one more time, man. I should have put him in the parlay of the week one more time. But, you know, live and learn. And confident on the Dana White Contender Series, and I'm confident on 240. We're going to get it done this week, man. I'm feeling good. Send good vibes on the comments. Comment, like, subscribe. Tell me who you think's going to win this card. If you did well last week, what you're thinking for UC 240 as well. And, yeah, man, let's try to get, you know, a lot of comments, a lot of interaction on this video, and hopefully we can do well. But I'm pretty confident in the part of the week, and we're going to get it done. We're going to get it fucking done. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to talk it into existence, believe, conceive, achieve, Luke Rockhold style in this bitch. So we're gonna go, we're gonna get it done this week. So let's get it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.